Flat Earth, the Diluvian Flood. In your mind's eye, travel back thousands of years ago, somewhere between 3500 BCE and 3000 BCE. Imagine, from a bird's eye view, that you are witnessing the Diluvian flood in Noah's day. What a sight to see! A turbulent and torrential and constant downpour of water, while gallons and gallons of water are gushing from all oceans and seas. The air is filled with sounds of horrific cries and bellows of anguish and distress from the people and animals, while being violently thrown about in all directions. To call this a storm would be like calling Jaws just a fish. According to the biblical account, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights in the earth. It further explains that the springs of the great deep burst open, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. Genesis chapter 1, verses 6 and 7 authenticates this sequence of events, as well as the sources of the limitless supply of water disbanded during the deluge. With that much water, to what extent was the earth really covered? Genesis chapter 7, verses 18 through 20 provides emphatic answers that will undoubtedly help you to wrap your minds around just how much water had engulfed the earth. As stated, and I quote, "The waters rose and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the water. They rose greatly on the earth, and all the high mountains under the entire heavens were covered. The water rose and covered the mountains to a depth of more than 15 cubits. As we are all familiar with two of water's well-known properties from our own personal experience and observation, the first being that water will continue to run until it levels off. The second, and more important, is that in order for water to rise, especially to the depth of the deluge, it has to be contained on all sides. Now, once the downpour and flooding ended, the biblical record states that the tallest mountains were covered by more than 15 cubits. In our standard measurement, that would be equivalent to approximately 22 and a half feet. Now, Mount Ararat, which is in Turkey, has an elevation of 16,854 feet. Mount Elbrus, which is in Russia, has an elevation of 18,510 feet. And the well-known Mount Everest, located in Asia, has a whopping elevation of 29,029 feet, which is in the range of commercial flight air traffic. So I ask, is it really possible for water to reach the depth of elevation of that magnitude without any surrounding vertical barrier of some sort where the height is equivalent to the elevation on a globe? Would this not be more applicable with the existence of, let's say, a dome-like structure that encapsulates a flat surface on all sides? When I think of that tragic event in reference to which Earth projection would have made the occurrence of a cataclysmic deluge possible, the image called to mind in no way resembles this, but more like this. You wanted science, that's science. And I'm sure gravity is the more plausible explanation for this phenomena. The globe deception has run its course long enough. It's time to face the truth. The defense rests its case. The facts have been presented. The jury has deliberated. And the verdict is in. The earth is flat. I know it. The government obviously knows it. And the science community surely knows it. Just ask Bill Nye, the science guy.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go. The Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth.